Oh, snap. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button real quick on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up button on YouTube. TikTok. We're live on TikTok as well. Where y'all at? Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. Oh, my goodness. We got a bunch of things to talk about tonight. Um, but I did see this video and I wanted to go ahead and give it a watch. There's this guy, his name is Mark Honeycutt. And apparently he like walked to uh Chimney Rock, that's the name of it, Chimney Rock, and like just walked around and like just showed what was happening, showed some of the aftermath and everything. And I was like, you know what? I want to check this out. So TikTok, there's not going to be much talking. I think he talks to some people when he's walking around there. But this one, y'all, if you come over to YouTube, you can see everything. So you can see the video that he did and everything. Yeah, I want to do this first. I think it's only like 20 minutes or so. And then we got stuff to talk about Garth Brooks. And then there was this Instagram model that something crazy happened down in Costa Rica. So we got things to talk about, but I wanted to do this one first, y'all, because I've been watching a lot of these videos today. In fact, I posted 2 or 3, maybe 4 videos today on TikTok talking about the hurricane and the relief and the victims and everything. And it's insane. It's insane to me what's happening. So let's go ahead and get started. Y'all, make sure you follow him, though. His name's Mark Honeycutt. He's pinned down in the description. Go give him a follow. This video, I think he posted it today, and it's got like well over 1 million views. So chances are you might have seen it. But if not, here you go. And make sure you go follow his channel and give him some love as well. You guys ready for this? Thumbs up in the chat. YouTube, hit the subscribe button. TikTok, hit the follow button. Tap the screen like crazy. And let's do this.
Back at the landslide again on Highway 9 going into Bat Cave. Still haven't cleared it, so I'm gonna have to walk 1.5 miles in.
Oh, hell. I mean, that's crazy, y'all. All the landslides, and look at that. Like, imagine driving on that and all of a sudden that happens.
Y'all saw my last video, so you know how bad it is. It's pretty amazing these four-wheelers made it this far, especially coming over that. But as you can see up there, there's the 74 bridge going towards Bat Cave. So this is as far as I've gotten as compared to the last video.
Oh, hell. Trees just falling down in the middle of the road, everything.
What's left of the road, and then it'll end up there again and back to the rocks. But I'm closer to Chimney Rock than I was last time. That's the power of water right there. Look at that beam. I mean, that's a thick metal beam. Well, that's interesting.
Oh, wow.
Once again, this is where the road should be.
Oh, my God. Just a cop car just washed over right there. Y'all, we're watching. His name is Mark Honeycutt on YouTube. TikTok, come over to YouTube and watch this one because it's pretty much all visual. The Mystery Project on YouTube. That's where you'll find it. Come on over. I mean, that's crazy to see because that's a brand new cruiser. It's like an SUV cruiser. Just the road and crumbled. Look at the road.
This bridge leading into this nice neighborhood. It's a new neighborhood too, I'm pretty sure. A little bit of the infrastructure.
That is crazy, y'all. Did you see that?
Broken up.
There's a chair out there.
They got the flag going at half-mast on Chimney Rock.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. Look at that. Damn tree right over the gate like that. Look at that house. Look at that house. Andy, it's on YouTube. We're live on the Mystery Project on YouTube. TikTok won't let me show you the video. Just search the Mystery Project, though. The Mystery Project on YouTube. You'll find the channel.
This is one of the more unreal, scary things.
It's like a little staircase or like walkway down, and it just drops straight off.
Imagine this being your home. Very sad.
Power line, everything. Amanda, thanks for the follow. Chair in the middle of the road. Dear Lord, look at that car. I mean, that's like inches from falling 40 feet. Maybe further than that. Those are all cabins and stuff. For sale by owner. Oh, man. That whole campground.
Only way around is through the woods.
Dear Lord, look, they put
Beautiful waterfall you see in Last of the Mohicans and Chimney Rock. Gosh, this area is beautiful. In order to get to Chimney Rock, you literally have to hike through the woods now to get around the Raging River, a place that was previously so accessible by car. Look at this. That's crazy. That's huge.
It's just
Just
the
dropped
road
out of the woods right there.
crumbled.
This poor guy washed up here.
Oh, it's a horse. He blurred it out, though. The house just fell over. Half the house just crumbled.
I'm assuming people just came back and put these flags up because there's no way they would have lasted through the hurricane. I've seen quite a few of the flags. People trying to show a little strength through all this. Come back here, get their stuff, and put flags up. This is a lot of mud that came from up there. This is Chimney Rock. Straight ahead.
Jeez. It's like carnival rides. Was there a carnival right there? That's terrifying. Look at that house. Hanging on by a thread.
Up and around we go. I'm in the middle of Chimney Rock. I just talked to the police. Because they're working on the roads, they don't want me down here, obviously. But I'll just give you guys an idea of how it looks.
Damn.
There's this big conspiracy going around that this is becoming eminent domain. Bodies are getting pushed around and the government's taking control of this area. I just was clarified with local authorities that's not happening. They've only found one body in Lake Lure, and yeah, I don't really see anybody being pushed around, and it doesn't stink here. The only dead thing I found was a horse. So here's what Chimney Rock looks like for you
Oh, hell.
guys.
He was like, it's a conspiracy that the government doesn't want you here. Meanwhile, the government didn't want me to go there. He said that all in one breath. They're all evacuated out now, John. Probably the one, or at least people that they could find there.
Here in Chimney Rock with Logan, he's been clearing the streets with these guys. We don't smell anything, do we?
No. If the smell that was here was more than likely the 50-something propane tanks they took out of the river. Propane's got a pretty bad smell. There's not bodies in the road.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. There's no looting?
No looting. No.
You can't even get in here.
No, if you look around, there's definitely not people getting robbed by gunpoint either. There's more police and military in here than there is workers or people live here, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really just a lot of chaos. Everything's
Police and military.
There's a lot more positive than negative going on right now. Besides the, everything that happened.
So I think because people can't see what's going on in here, someone just created some crazy story and put it out there and it went viral.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. It's sad what happened and everything, but we're getting it. We're fixing it. And to the extent of what, they said, that's very far-fetched. Very far-fetched.
And I walked all the way down here to find out what it looked like down here, and it's just destruction like it is everywhere else. There's nothing crazy going on here. So thanks for doing this cleanup.
Yeah,
man.
of course.
I appreciate it, and thanks for answering.
Yes, of course.
It is crazy to see just like everything just torn up, y'all. And TikTok, come over to YouTube if you want to watch the video with us. You can actually see the video we're watching on YouTube. And YouTube, if you're in here, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button. Just all kinds of debris and everything. Oh, Annie Cooper. Look at that.
So I got a backstory on this car from the local law enforcement down there. She was actually driving during the storm, maybe 10 a.m. Friday, which is like peak winds, and a landslide hit her car while she was in it. And then I guess, I don't know how she got out or rescued, but yeah. That's
man,
legitimately a police officer hit by a landslide. Pretty tedious walk, this whole thing.
No joke, huh?
Sweating like a dog.
Krista, you got to look for the Mystery Project. The Mystery Project on YouTube. The Haunted Side on YouTube is like my paranormal stuff. Oh, imagine walking over that.
This is Chelsea. She happened to be down in Bat Cave when the hurricane was going on. Mm-hmm. Tell us how that went.
Oh, hell.
Sure. So it was
real quick, this is your house.
My house, yeah. What's left of my house. So 7:30ish Friday morning, my husband
Wow.
said we need to leave, and so we got our 2 cats and dog and ran across, and we were going to stay in the post office with our neighbors. And so we did, we put them in there, and we had a couple bags of just like little things that were in the living room and dining room that we could put into garbage bags. And we put them all over in the post office, and we went back to get one more thing. It was like our medication, contacts, all of that kind of stuff. And we were holding the bags, and we heard this like huge whoosh, and we looked out our kitchen window, and the second half of the post office building, a landslide came and just wiped it out. So naturally we panicked, thinking that the animals, that the building had been either completely wiped out or enough that the animals could run out. So we dropped everything that we had and ran back over there, which was kind of fortunate, only because once we got there, we realized that the water had risen so high that we weren't gonna be able to stay there. So we, the door swings inward. So the water pushed it in enough that the one cat swam out and like climbed onto some debris and took off. But we got the kitten and our Shih Tzu, and our plan had originally kind of been to like walk up the street, but it was, there was too much water and it was just coming down like a river. So we went up this mountain here, tried a couple cabins, like one had a gas leak, another one we thought we could stand on their porch, and like a huge mudslide came out from underneath it. And the third one we found, very Goldilocks, the third one we found had a screen porch, and God bless those people, because we just sat in there and we could see out up along this road and just watch one building after the other fall in like dominoes, and like whole garages fell in.
Man, can you imagine?
Cars fell in right after them, and we couldn't see our house, so we really didn't know what to expect. And we stayed up in that cabin until about 2 o'clock, and then the sun came out. It was like this, it was beautiful. Sun came out, beautiful blue sky, and we came down from the mountain finally and just saw it's like that absolute devastation everywhere. So
was this road filled with water? And you guys came down after it receded a bit, obviously, and just,
yeah,
I mean, I can't imagine what y'all saw. It
was crazy. So my husband fortunately had the sense to move our cars out of this driveway across the street, so they were parked right here. So we started just kind of triaging everything we could get out of our house, like the most important things, you know, any kind of clothes that we could get, like immediate things that we would need. And then we've come back every day. We're staying with some friends right now, but we've come back every day to just kind of get a little bit more and a little bit more. So, you know, then we got some like sentimental things, and he was an avid baseball card collector, so he had 250,000 baseball cards. They're all,
wow.
Any baseball card you see, that came from us. I, of course, collected Pyrex, which is the most inconvenient possible thing to collect. Huge, heavy, old, vintage glass. It was really fun to carry that around. But we did manage to get some of that out. But if you want to see in the house, I can show you, like, because we had a really nice,
if you could take.
Yeah, come on in. We had, like, a couch and a chair. We had a big china cabinet full of Pyrex, a big fireplace, and the sliding
Brandon, this is Chimney Rock.
Glass doors blew out, and it sucked all of it out into the water. Like,
Dear God, look at that, y'all. Look, half the house is gone right there. Look at that.
But you can see, like, this was probably the beginning of
that's crazy as hell to even be walking in there right now.
the end. Like, when this tree came in, because then, like, the water came in. Look
at the tree came through.
Hardwood vinyl planks, and you can see, like, 30-day guarantee not to warp in water, so we'll find out about that. But it's all down to subfloor now because the water came in and just ripped it all up. You can see how high the water was. And like,
yeah, TikTok, sorry. TikTok won't let me show you the video, but you can come over to YouTube and see it. The Mystery Project on YouTube. That's the name of the channel. All you got to do is search The Mystery Project on YouTube. You'll find the channel, subscribe, and you can come watch the video with us. And then after this one, this video is almost over, a few more minutes. We'll go back to the normal stuff that you guys can hear.
Because it was so... There was so much velocity to it. It was just like, it looked like the ocean was white capping. Like, look on the ceiling and stuff.
Yeah.
Just splashing everywhere.
That is crazy.
Oh, glad you're all right.
Yeah. This used to all be grass, like all the way out through here. We had one little patch of sand was all it was.
Wow.
And
this was all grass?
yeah, and it's just, the land's just not there. Like,
It literally washed away
It's
the
just
entire
gone. I mean, what do you
land.
do when you own property?
Yeah.
It's just not there anymore. It's a river now. It's just really weird. All these rocks, these weren't
Did you see
here.
Did you see across the street too? Look, like straight across the street, you can see the neighbors,
Like these have
and it's
never
like
been here.
completely fine.
I don't know. I really don't know. Structurally, if they'll let us rebuild, or
Yeah.
I don't want to live anywhere else. My sister lives in the Keys. So Florida Keys is one of the most beautiful places in the country, and I don't care. I don't want to live anywhere but here. So it's just really hard. It's like the one thing that
Like, look at the neighbor right there, y'all, with the little stone retaining wall. See it back there? Just totally fine. And then on the other side, the whole thing washed away, pushing trees through the walls and
you
everything.
want is the one thing you can't have.
Right. Louisiana State Police made it.
We want to see where apple
Wow.
farmers would change.
So this is normally the way that you would take from Hendersonville to get to Lake Lure, Chimney Rock. No longer there.
Mary Beth, absolutely.
I like to say, if you're coming down to Chimney Rock or Back Cave or whatever, and you see stuff like water on the side of the street, don't take it. You should have hiked in with your own water. That's for people who need it on the street. So if y'all see airdrops and stuff like that, and you're just out here to gawk and look at things, like, it's not the answer. You should bring your own stuff.
Leslie, I don't know about that actually. That's a good question though. Any word on the nursing homes or prisons and stuff like that? Mm. They're just driving out now. I think this is the end of the video, y'all. God, that is crazy though. Look at all that. Look at that house back there. Well, TikTok you can't, but dang. Well, that's the firehouse right there. Garden Creek Fire Rescue. Or Garin Creek. I couldn't read it. Ooh, look at that. Can you imagine driving over that even right now? Yeah, that's giving me anxiety, and I'm not even there. Wow, man, you cruising too fast. Slow down. I'm like looking up like it's gonna make me see down there. Oh, hell, y'all. That was crazy. Make sure you go give him a follow. Mark Honeycutt. He's pinned down in the description. Let's keep it going, y'all. Because we got a few things to talk about tonight, including this dude. Oh, hell. Garth Brooks. What the hell is going on with Garth Brooks? Did you guys see this one? Here you go.
One of country music's biggest stars, Garth Brooks, is accused of sexual battery and rape in a new lawsuit
Oh, hell.
filed in LA. I have 13 shocking allegations from the suit and how Garth Brooks is responding to the accuser's claims. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Garth Brooks is undoubtedly one of the best-selling singers of all time. Only the Beatles have sold more albums.
Damn.
Brooks sold out stadium concerts for years. His first album was released in 1989, and he's been a star ever since. He's currently playing Caesar's Palace in a residency going into next year. Brooks is married to
Oh, Lord.
fellow country singer Trisha Yearwood and is loved by his fans. Now, though, he's being sued by a former hair and makeup artist who says Brooks battered her. Brooks
Oh, hell.
is denying the claims in a statement, and I'll have that full statement for you later on in the show. The lawsuit was filed in LA County, and an interesting thing about it, the Wigder law firm, which represented Cassie Ventura in her sexual assault and trafficking lawsuit against Sean Combs, is representing the woman who is suing Garth Brooks. Now, we don't know her name. She's identified only as Jane Roe, and she worked as both a makeup artist and hairdresser for both Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood for several years.
Oh,
suit
hell.
Claims the woman has both audio recordings of phone calls with Brooks and text messages to support her claims. I'll read one of those text exchanges later. The suit claims that Jane Roe was hired to do makeup for Trisha Yearwood in 1999, and then she started doing hair and makeup for Brooks in 2017. In 2019, the suit claims Jane Roe started having money problems, and Garth Brooks found out and took advantage of that. The suit says Brooks
Oh, my God.
seized what he
Are you
saw
serious?
as an opportunity to subject a female employee to a side of Brooks that he conceals from the public. This side of Brooks believes he is entitled to sexual gratification when he wants it, and using a female employee to get it is fair game. Now,
Oh, you gonna burn in hell for that.
I'm going to describe one of the first allegations as delicately as I can. The lawsuit uses vivid and descriptive language, often quoting what Brooks is alleged to have said, and I've cleaned up this next
Oh, I heard some of this, y'all. It is sick. It's some crazy stuff.
part quite a bit. The suit describes an incident in 2019 where Jane Roe claims she was at Garth Brooks's home and he walked out of the shower and greeted her naked and that he had an erection. Jane Roe claims in the suit that Brooks
Oh,
told her
hell
he
no.
fantasized about that moment and grabbed her hand and placed it on him and then told her he wanted her to perform oral
No.
sex with her glasses on. So when he climaxed, that would happen on her glasses. Now, Jane Roe said she didn't do what
Man. Garth, you couldn't find anybody that was willing to do that? That is crazy as hell. I mean, it's alleged, but that is crazy as hell. You couldn't find somebody that's just into that sort of thing. You had to go do it to somebody who didn't want it done, allegedly. Man, this is nuts. That's a poor choice of words, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Brooks wanted her to do, but she needed the money, so she didn't leave. Then she said in May of that year,
Amy, right? Yeah, Chris Gaines. I remember when he did that. He went all rocker.
she flew to Los Angeles with Brooks for the Grammys. The suit says usually there were others on Brooks's private jet, but this time Ms. Roe and Brooks were the only two passengers. Once in the Los Angeles hotel, Ms. Roe could not believe that Brooks had booked a hotel suite with one bedroom and she did not have a separate room. Jane Roe then claims that Brooks appeared in the door of the bedroom, flexed his muscles, and she
Oh, hell. Come on. Garth, what are you doing? Man.
said she felt sick to her stomach and trapped. The suit reads, tragically, her worst fears came true when seconds later, he was towering over her, his 6 foot and almost 300-pound frame, ready to pounce on Ms. Roe, who is less than 5 feet.
Damn, Garth Brooks is 6 foot, but 300 pounds? I guess I can see it.
And 100 pounds. As she began to panic,
She's less than 5 feet and only 100 pounds. Damn.
he grabbed her hands and pulled her into the next room and onto the bed where she could not escape his physical domination.
Dear
Brooks's rape
Lord.
of Ms. Roe was painful and traumatic. Having no regard for her well-being and intent on his own sexual gratification at the expense of Ms. Roe's physical, mental, and emotional trauma, at some point during the nightmare,
Oh, hell.
Brooks even held her small body upside down by her feet and penetrated her. This
What the hell? Upside. Man,
suit claims that Brooks insisted the
this is crazy as hell.
woman wear her glasses during this assault, and when it was over, she had to do his hair and makeup so he wasn't late for the Grammys.
What? Oh, hell no. She have the razor out. Oh, sorry. Got the rest of it.
The suit also claims that Brooks claimed he'd had sex with women in every corner of a hotel room on every surface, no matter their race. Now, after the alleged
What?
assault, Jane Roe claims Brooks did things with his wife in front of her that made her very uncomfortable. The suit says Brooks intentionally fondled, grabbed, and kissed his wife in close physical proximity to Ms. Roe in a way that made Ms. Roe feel extremely uncomfortable. In addition, Brooks would tell Ms. Roe that he thought it was hot to see his wife be with another woman sexually and implied
Oh,
that
man.
she could
What
be the
the
other
hell?
woman. Although it was disturbing, she did not respond to these suggestions. Ms. Rowe had worked for Ms. Yearwood since 1999 and worried that Ms. Yearwood would hear things he was saying to Ms. Rowe and be upset with her, even though, of course, such behavior was initiated by Brooks. Rowe also claims she has physical injuries from the assault. Ms. Rowe was physically ill and already in pain by the time they flew back to Nashville. In fact, a migraine had started. In the weeks after this horrific violence, Ms. Rowe experienced debilitating pain in her neck and lower back, which she sought medical treatment for. In addition, she had to seek treatment from her OBGYN for damage Brooks caused during the Los Angeles. Then she
Man,
claimed Garth Brooks
this is nuts.
began to talk to her more and more
This was 2019 Steph Case Files. And y'all make sure you follow Steph Case Files.
about sex and followed her regularly. The suit says, after the sexual assault and rape in Los Angeles, Brooks increased the frequency
Jesus.
of saying his fantasies about her aloud, along with his physical groping of her breasts against her will. Disgustingly, he
What?
often forced her to do this while she was styling his hair and doing his makeup. At times, Brooks implied the groping would continue despite Ms. Rowe insisting this was unwanted. For example, one time when he said while groping her, "Next time we mess around," and Miss Rose clearly said
Man, this is crazy.
no, he became visibly angry at Ms. Rowe and left. Ms. Rowe, needing the financial support from her work for Brooks, was petrified that her refusals would cause him to fire her. Jane Roe's suit goes on to say at times that she wanted to commit suicide. I mentioned earlier
Oh, no.
that Jane Roe claims she had text messages and audio recordings of the phone calls. Jane Roe claims Brooks forced her to text with him and that he used more than one cell phone and different email addresses, some with the names of females. One of those
What?
text messages is featured in the suit. Part of it is redacted to hide another woman's name, but Jane Roe says Brooks wanted her to talk in a civilized manner. She wrote, "Warm fact, and that huge stick you carry, Roosevelt." Brooks is alleged to have responded, "I'll take that nickname. Thank you. I love you," with heart emojis. Now, the suit claims
Dear Lord.
that Brooks deleted many of the texts from Jane Roe's phone that showed sexting. Now to the alleged recordings of phone calls, one of which is from 2020, in which Jane Roe claims she was upset that Brooks had told his wife that Jane Roe had seen him naked from the waist down. The suit claims Brooks tried to minimize what was said and said, "Oh, sweetheart, for one, I think I know Trisha pretty well and she wasn't uncomfortable. And I said you saw my stuff. That was it. We were talking about something and it just came up."
Man.
Look, I'm worried you are
This is crazy as hell.
overthinking this. In other quoted exchanges, it appears that Brooks may be acknowledging that something happened. "I work with the best, and I don't want to do something stupid that breaks this team up. So I will do whatever I need to do or do whatever I don't need to do. But I just want to keep working with you. But if you feel weird working with me, it's fine. We don't have to work together." In response, Ms. Rose said, "I've
Whoa.
never found myself in a situation that is, I just don't know that I'm going to be able to look up from. And I am a little frightened of you. I really am." Brooks said, "Sweet baby, I'm so sorry. I can't imagine. That makes me frightened of you." Another alleged phone call discusses
What the hell
Jane
does
Roe
that
telling
mean?
Brooks no to fooling around. Ms. Rowe said over the phone to Brooks, I want to make sure that even though I've told you no, that you're cool with no. I mean, no as in no fooling around like we had done. You are cool with that, right?
Wait, she told him, I told you no, like, no, I mean, no, as in no fooling around like we had done? Why would she say like we had done instead of like, no, you're not going to do what you did to me before? Do you know what I mean? Or is she just trying to get information out of him? Doesn't that seems a little bit weird? Like she's saying, "Oh, we can't do that again like we did before," right? But she didn't say, the way she made it sound was like she was participating in it, not a victim of it. Do you know what I mean? Because there's words you can't say on here, but you know what I mean? Like that is strange. That kind of hits kind of weird. I mean, obviously you want to believe her and go, well, yeah, that's crazy as hell. And especially, well, she says she has like recordings and like text messages and all kinds of stuff. So I think maybe she was just saying like that to try to get more information out of him. And she didn't want to come out and say, you did this to me, you did, you know what I mean? And then he's going to shut down and say, I ain't saying shit. What are you talking about? Nope. Nah, that's crazy though. Jesus.
Ms. Rowe also mentioned that she saw
Angel, because yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she did say that she's got all kinds of proof. So
him and that he was pretty upset with her. Brooks replied, no, I would never be upset with you. Look at it this way, okay? Look at it. The best way I can explain it is me and you broke into a jewelry store. And the second we broke the door, we looked at each other and said, this isn't right. But we already had broken the door. And so I think me and you get out and run and just hope that nobody ever finds out and just love one another and be friends. Is that fair? Brooks allegedly said in another call, I'm lucky to have you. I don't want this to go anywhere, and I don't want something that happened in the moment to screw the whole 20 years I've known you. Jane
damn.
Rowe's attorneys issued a statement applauding her for coming forward, and they say that Brooks actually filed his own federal lawsuit in Mississippi anonymously, trying to block Jane Roe from filing her suit in what they call an act of desperation and attempted intimidation.
Whoa.
Garth Brooks is denying these allegations, and he has issued a statement to Deadline calling this a shakedown for millions of dollars. The statement says, for the last 2 months, I have been hassled to no end with threats, lies, and tragic tales of what my future would be if I did not write a check for many millions of dollars. It has been like having a loaded gun waved in my face.
Oh, hell.
The statement continues, hush money, no matter how much or how little, is still hush money. In my mind, that means I am admitting to behavior I am incapable of, ugly acts no human should ever do to another. Brooks also responded.
Hold up. So he's trying to say that something happened, but it was consensual, but now she feels bad afterwards because he told Trisha Yearwood, who's his wife, and she's afraid to lose her job. So now she's saying, well, she can't still work for him now after filing a lawsuit. And he's trying to say all this happened and now she's just using it to get millions of dollars because they said she was like fell on hard times and she needed the job. That's why she kept going and like flying to places with him. I don't know about that, Garth. I don't know.
To his
Keep going.
filing a federal lawsuit to try to block Jane Roe from filing her suit. We filed suit against this person nearly a month ago to speak out against extortion and defamation of character. We filed it anonymously for the sake of families on both sides. I want to bring in entertainment attorney Jonathan Handel. Jonathan, your first thoughts on the allegations being made by Jane Roe?
Well, this is, it certainly is evident that the Me Too movement, the Me Too extended
Man, that dude's got a messy office, huh?
moment.
Holy hell. Imagine that's your attorney. Oh, I've got your contract somewhere under all this crap.
That we saw several years ago that almost inexplicably, by and large, bypassed music has now, with the conviction of R. Kelly, the litigation and charges against Diddy, and now the allegations against Garth Brooks, that
Oh, it's only the beginning.
Me Too is a wave that
It's gonna get crazy as hell, y'all. Watch.
is finally cresting on the beach of music. This is very much in the vein of the kinds of litigation and allegations that we've seen earlier in filmed entertainment, film and TV, in politics, and in certain other areas, but not so much in music until the last little while.
Does it give her lawsuit any more credence or credibility, her claims, in that she's being represented by the same law firm that represented Cassie Ventura, the Wigder law firm? Cassie Ventura, this lawsuit was settled within a day. But does that mean anything at all?
Well, and in the case of Cassie, of course, there was video.
I bet Diddy's worth more money than Garth Brooks, I would imagine, huh? I know Garth did a lot of, I mean, he's like musically famous, but like Garth Brooks didn't have like clothing lines and freaking all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And even Garth now, I mean, he had a residency at Caesar's Palace. I mean, back in like the 90s, yeah, I could see Garth selling out freaking arenas everywhere. But nowadays, like, what's he doing for? I mean, Vegas residency. He's selling out shows every night. Probably not anymore, though. It's crazy.
As well.
Keep going.
Well, this is video of Diddy apparently.
I mean, I know he has money. Yeah, I mean, he has money. I know, but I'm saying, like, Diddy, when Cassie filed the suit, the next day closed for how, like, God knows how much money, right? Tens of millions, if not more, right? But then he's saying this lady was like millions of dollars. This is weird. Garth, really? It's because it's Garth Brooks, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the person where you'd be like, "Hi, Montreal. I know you can't believe it either, huh?" But you know what I mean? Like, he always seemed like pretty wholesome. He got a little crazy in the last few years, obviously, but like 90s, he seems so wholesome. He said out there, a dream is like a river. That kind of stuff. Just a weird one, y'all. That's a weird one.
Diddy beating, kicking, physically abusing her in a hotel hallway.
Yeah, and the thunder rolls. Damn, damn, damn.
It does add some weight. We have to remember that the court of public opinion is not the same as the court of law, and the court of law is ultimately where allegations get tested. And
TikTok, thanks for the tiny dinies too. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for supporting the channel, y'all. Hit the follow button if you're new here. Tap the screen like crazy. YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get 100 likes. We got 15 to go. Montreal says, please.
Resolved. But it's quite notable. There are several things that are quite notable. One of them is that the legal complaint that the anonymous plaintiff, Ms. Rowe, filed against Garth Brooks is written, in my view, as much for the press and public as it is for the court. There are a lot of adjectives in it, which you wouldn't normally see in a complaint. Normally, a complaint lays out the facts without, and then says how the facts constitute a violation of law or a cause of action, a claim. But here we have references to Garth Brooks allegedly sharing his thoughts about his prowess and remarks like, fortunately, Garth Brooks is not entitled to abuse the law. And that's a reference to a lawsuit that Brooks himself apparently filed. There was an anonymous John Doe lawsuit against an anonymous defendant attempting to preempt this lawsuit, apparently. So, there's very much an awareness here that the eyes of the country, and indeed in many ways of the world, are upon this lawsuit.
I want to talk to you
Yeah,
about
right.
how unusual that is for somebody like Garth Brooks or anybody at all to file what is being described as a preemptive lawsuit, trying to block her essentially from filing her complaint.
That is a little weird.
And he did it anonymously. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a real non-starter. I mean, people are entitled in this country to file lawsuits. They are entitled
Me on YouTube goes, blame it all on his roots. Man, you crazy as hell.
to send a draft of a lawsuit with a demand letter, as the plaintiff Rose lawyers allegedly did, and that is and to say, look, either we settle this or we're filing a lawsuit. Brooks characterizes that as extortion. Again, apparently it's Brooks. This is an anonymous preemptive lawsuit, but assuming that it's Brooks, he characterizes it as extortion, as
You know what though? Hold on. Because I saw who just said it. They said Garth is a good man. You can't convince me otherwise. Play devil's advocate with me for a second, okay? And who knows? Maybe this is the beginning, right? Because Puff Daddy, right? Whatever, P Diddy, whatever. We were like, oh, okay, yeah. I never really liked him. I always thought he was kind of weird. But then you see the Cassie thing came out, and it's like, okay, yeah, he's gonna burn in hell for that stuff, right? And then after that, it was like, boom, 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 boom. Now what? 120 people, right? So keep that in mind as I say this. Garth Brooks, right? Devil's advocate here. Why now? Like, why? Because this wasn't from 20 years ago. This is from 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 2019, right? Why now? If I mean, he's peaked, right? Are there going to be more people coming out? Because if he's doing this in 2019, what was he doing in 94? You know what I mean? What was he doing in 92 to like 2000? You know what I mean? Are there going to be a lot more people to come out and say, oh, yeah, you know what? Actually, Garth, back in 96, this happened or this happened. Is he going to get to 100 people, 120 people? What if nobody else comes out and it's because he didn't do anything? And then it comes out that, well, this lady was in that situation and was like, hey, pay me this money or else. You know what I mean? Because I feel like with Garth, think about it. I'm not saying she did. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like just devil's advocate, play devil's advocate. What if that is what happened? Because I feel like if Garth did it once, he would have done it 100 times. Especially with what they said he said in there. If that's how he thinks, he'd have done it. I mean, there's gonna be more than one person. He didn't start there, is what I'm saying. So I don't know. Y'all tell me. This is a crazy one because it is Garth Brooks, right? I mean, that's like if damn Mr. Rogers came out and they were like, "Oh yeah, Mr. Rogers, man, this, you know what I mean? Like something crazy like that, where you'd be like, what? No way, no way." God rest your soul, Mr. Rogers. I'm not meaning to throw you under the bus for an analogy, but I'm just saying, like, that shows how pure you are, sir. But you know what I mean? Like, it's a weird one. Okay, let's keep going. I'll shut up.
defamation against him. It's a Hail Mary with a deflated football. It's not going very far.
It seems like an
Right?
extraordinary step, though. I mean, she's claiming she has text messages. She's claiming she has audio recordings of phone calls in which it appears, according to the quotes featured in the lawsuit, that he's acknowledging something happened at some point. What that is, it sounds like there's a dispute there, but that seems like an extraordinary step to go to court to try to block somebody from filing a lawsuit like this.
It is an extraordinary step. I'm, really not aware of that having happened in a case like this. not in my memory, certainly, if ever. And um, usually the remedy for an unjustified lawsuit, if one considers it unjustified, is to countersue for malicious prosecution, which itself is a very steep road to climb, because the system in this country allows people to sue each other for alleged misconduct and wrongful conduct. So yeah, it really struck me as something that was in almost amateurish, honestly, because I think the
Whoa.
likelihood of any sort of traction from that preemptive lawsuit it's just not there.
Well, it obviously failed because they went ahead
Yeah,
and filed
they
suit.
filed it anyways.
There's some pretty graphic things described in this complaint filed by Jane Roe. Talk of, being fondled. I mean, the assault, she's saying she had to go to the gynecologist because she had physical injuries
Oh, hell.
from this May of 2019 incident that she calls a rape in the hotel room. So there may be medical records that corroborate this. There's talk about him saying he wanted to get shampoo bottles that were shaped like toys. I mean, there's all this like sexual stuff talk. How harmful is this to Garth Brooks's image? Because he's a
Crazy harmful
star. I mean, he has fans all over the world. People love him. Country music fans do. So how hard of a hit is he going to take from this lawsuit?
It is
massive.
Reputationally very, very damaging to Garth Brooks. I have to assume that in addition to having attorneys engaged in dealing with this, that he has publicists, whether
crisis publicists,
his usual publicists, whoever they may be, or crisis publicists who are advising as well, because people are very aware that even though the legally decisive resolution of a lawsuit is, of course, in a court of law, that the court of public opinion influences people's opinions, influences people's willingness to buy tickets, to listen to music, to buy music, if anyone buys music these days, but certainly to listen to music and to go to concerts. It is, as you point out, an extremely detailed, extremely, he towered over her, kid within her, and there's an allegation, and on and on and on, and said what he wanted to have happen next. And there's a point at which we won't needn't get into the details, but it's just
I know,
very it's a very explicit and angry, and as I said, adjective laden in places complaint that really is written to use the litigation privilege, which allows people to make allegations if they have a sincere belief in them, with insulation from defamation lawsuits. It's written to make maximum use of the litigation privilege.
It certainly kind of reads like a press release in some respects, and it's very salacious. And we want to reiterate, Garth Brooks is denying this, but the woman says, Ms. Rose says, that she has audio recordings, text messages, things of that nature. So she's saying she has some documentary evidence. We'll keep an eye on it and see where it goes. Jonathan Handel, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.
Oh, snap. Don't worry, y'all. We got another one. TikTok, hit the follow button. If you're new here, tap the screen like crazy. Let's get 25,000 likes. Thank you for the tiny dinies. Let's see if we can get 100 of them bad boys. Daydreamer, thank you. Next up, I saw this story. this girl right here, apparently she was an Instagram model, and she was in Costa Rica, and she just like got into a fight with some people on the street or something like that, and then that was it. They decided that she shouldn't be among the land of the living anymore. Crazy as hell. Let's jump into it. Oh, and YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. We got over 100 people watching, 94 likes. Come on, y'all. 6 more likes, we're at 100. Everybody hit that thumbs up. Let's go.
A young model brutally shot and killed while waiting for an Uber to her
Oh, hell.
daughter's birthday party. Now, her massive social media presence and the adult content she created are coming into question. Could she have had a
The what?
stalker, or was this just a random attack? The killer or killers are still on the loose, so what are investigators doing to track them down? We'll hear
Oh, Lord.
from retired Commander Will Skelar for his take on this case. I'm Sierra Gillespie, and this is Law and Crime Network. Today, we're taking a closer look at the case of 29-year-old Juliana Castillo Sanchez. She was an Instagram model with thousands of followers and created adult content for a site called Family, similar to OnlyFans.
Oh, hell. Oh, Amber, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. You that dude. Hashtag Pat the Great. Pat the Great for POTUS. Man. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll run for president.
On top of that,
You guys vote for me.
Juliana had 2 children, a son and a daughter, the latter of whom
Thumbs up in the chat. Can I count on you?
she was celebrating her birthday on Saturday, September 28th. Juliana was in the San Jose province of Costa Rica on the way to her daughter's birthday party.
Oh, hell.
As she was waiting for an Uber, Juliana
Sarah,
reportedly
thank you.
started arguing with some men outside. At some point during all this, gunshots rang out, at least one hitting Juliana. Now, according
Dear
to
God.
reports, the 2 men were on a motorcycle, and after the drove off. As of right now, they haven't been arrested,
Oh, hell.
charged,
Sarah, thanks for subscribing. Very sweet. Thank you.
or even publicly identified. Officials are now searching for these men as
Wanted meatball in the house. Good to see you,
the
man.
investigation continues. Meanwhile, it's still unclear what exactly Juliana's cause of death was or where she was shot. Officials say she was pronounced dead on the scene, but it's still unclear what led up to her shooting.
Oh, hell. Y'all, by the way, follow John right there. Haunted Meatball. Boom. Give him a follow. That's a good dude right there. That's a good dude right there.
Including what this apparent argument was about or what any sort of motive could be. Some family members have wondered whether Juliana was the victim of a because some of her personal belongings were missing from the scene. There's also
Oh, hell.
a possible theory that Juliana's public persona could be a motive of sorts, that the suspect potentially found her online and may have even left a trail of evidence on social media. That's just a
Oh, my God.
theory, though, because right now there are a lot of facts about the case that are unknown. To try to make sense of what we do know, we've got to bring in retired Commander Will Skelar.
Immediately, it looks like it's a street robbery. It's a violent street robbery. And when you
Terrible.
look at it at face value and basically everything that I've read, that's what it is. It's a 2-man crew on a motorcycle. They're doing robberies on the street.
Damn.
I looked into other robberies, and there have been
Oh, damn. Thanks, y'all. We hit that real quick. Thank you.
with motorcycle crews. There was one in September 1st, not far away, where they did a home invasion. 2 guys on a motorcycle, bound, pistol whipped the residents, robbed them, took off on the motorcycle. So when
Dear Lord.
I started doing the research on this, I was like, well, how common is this street robbery situation in Costa Rica? And it turns out, the last few years, they've been increasing, along with their homicide rate.
Do you think it's possible that
Oh, Lord.
these street robbing situations, as you're referring to them, are they crimes of opportunity?
Absolutely, crimes of opportunity. They're tooling around. You look at it, a motorcycle is a perfect way to get around tight streets. Really easy to escape. They can go places cars can't go, and they can do it quickly. And all they do is just cruise around and look for the right victim.
I think what's interesting in this case, though, is that
Damn.
obviously being robbed or mugged is terrifying. The fact that you're dealing with that, you're losing your belongings, you're maybe being brutalized in some way. But that's a huge cry
Damn.
from jumping from just stealing your purse to murder. So
No, that's true.
what would make that
Thanks for the ghost, y'all.
escalation?
Resistance by the victim, unfortunately. And, it goes against our
Oh.
human nature to just allow people to do things to us, most of us anyway.
Right. Kimberly, thank you for the super sticker. Very sweet. Thank you.
And it looks like in this case, this poor girl fought back, and she was. We see it all the time. I mean, there is, we talk to victims all the time in robberies, and the offender will say, "Don't make this." So
God, it's terrifying. Carol, thank you. Tara, thank you.
basically, they know if it escalates, they're going to react with increased violence. And unfortunately, I think that's what happened in this case. It's resistance by the victim.
But still, there are a lot of questions in
That's
Juliana's,
heartbreaking.
including her cause of. So why is it that this info has yet to be released?
I don't know how they do it down there in Costa Rica. I know that some of the news reports I read said it was a gunshot wound to the head.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know if they have to
Tara, thank you.
go through whatever channels they do. But, in this country, it's right after the postmortem, they give you a cause. At least, maybe not the manner, but at least a cause. I don't know why they haven't released that information.
Looking for the suspects in this case, obviously we have a couple of witnesses who said there was some sort of argument, there were people on a motorcycle, but how are they working to track these people down? If there was any surveillance video or ring camera, things like that?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the first thing you got to do is to see, is there video surveillance? And then you have to get out there and you got to canvass. You got to pound the pavement. You got to talk to people. You
Right. Shelly, thank you. Dilo, thank you. Angie, thank
got to
you.
knock on doors. It's the middle of the day.
Me, thank you.
Again, like we say so many times when we
Thanks for not playing Jip. Patrick McQuarrie for president. Perfect.
speak, somebody saw something, and you have to get out there and try to find it. Be it, I mean, you don't necessarily just have to canvass people either. You can canvass properties. What I mean by that is, we always take a look up at the corner of the building for video surveillance. And I don't know
Right.
how advanced they are in technology down there, but this is a pretty good sized country. I think there's like 5 million people in this country, and they should be technically advanced enough to at least some of the business have some kind of video surveillance. But video surveillance, and you have to pound the pavement and talk to people.
You mentioned there's kind of been a wave of these type
Right.
of crimes recently, at least. You mentioned one in September, and this one
That's what they're trying to find out, John.
again was late
Yeah.
September. Do you think it's possible that Costa Rican authorities are going to reach out to the people who are involved in that to maybe compare notes, see if it's potentially the same suspects?
They absolutely should do that. They should absolutely talk to each other. We used to do it all the time between districts and areas where if we see something that maybe looks a little bit like something that we had in our area, we'll talk to another area to see what they had on it. They may have some more information. They may have caught the people that were home invaded, may have some video surveillance.
Oh, hell.
And you can match things up, motorcycle type. And I guess they kept their helmets on, but how many times have people changed their helmets? So at least you can have a
Juanita, thank you.
general idea if you're dealing with the same crew. But, like everywhere else, there are multiple crews working doing these robberies.
Something we talk about a lot in not just this story, but all of the other cases that we cover is digital evidence. Because again, we already mentioned the security camera video, things like that, but also everyone has their phone with them all the time. I mean, they are taking pictures or texting, it's showing their location. Is that something that investigators are then going to take a look at, actually her cell phone?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
You
If they can find it, if it didn't get taken, because they said they took a bunch of her stuff.
absolutely would do that. And they should have done that immediately.
Right. Ping the cell phone if it's not there. Ping the damn cell phone if it's not there. Michelle, thank you for the cats. Thank you for the kitty cats. Y'all almost halfway there.
If you know that she got a cell phone, it's missing, you start to ping it, as we call it. Again, I don't know what their technology is like down there, what kind of cooperation they're going to get from a cell phone company or provider. But that's immediately what we do. We want to try to find her property. And again, if the phone pops up in a pawn shop, now you got another avenue. If it pops up, somebody gets arrested, they have the phone. You have that other avenue, and you have to start. You have to start there because, like you said, people are attached to their phone. Nobody goes anywhere without their phone.
Right.
Matter of fact, she summoned the Uber on her phone, we would assume. So there's a record there. So that
you can't do that with smoke signals. Myrna, good to see you. Long time no see.
Phone's active up to the point where she gets killed, where the robbery, and I say robbery happens and the murder eventually takes place.
Ugh.
She's active on her phone. So the phone's huge. That's a really good point.
We're also talking about this case today because she was a public figure in Costa Rica. Like I mentioned, she had thousands of Instagram followers and she created content for, again, a site similar to OnlyFans. So
Oh,
do you
hell.
think that's possible to
Michelle, thank
be
you.
involved in any way? The fact that she had a lot of eyes on her, people maybe could have tracked where she was going?
I think that's possible.
Mm,
But in this case, if you're tracking where
Sarah, thank
someone's
you.
going, you really want to hit them in the middle of the day, broad daylight, people around. If you're going to be stalking someone and trying to commit a crime or robbery against them, you're going to probably wait till they're not in the wide open like that. It's possible. I think it was a random street robbery, unfortunately.
That's what's interesting too.
Damn.
You keep bringing up the broad daylight because whenever we think about these crimes, oftentimes it's at night because obviously it's darker, it's harder to see and identify who these suspects are. But this again happened in broad daylight, which is pretty gutsy, I guess, that they were doing it. Why do you think that would have happened, that they would have not waited until nighttime and just done it right when the sun's up?
Crime of opportunity. She's standing on the corner. She's obviously waiting
Damn.
for something. And like you said, she had some following. She had some fame. So she may have had outward displays of wealth, like jewelry or a fancy purse or
Oh, hell. Gaddis, thanks for the heart.
something like that.
Meredith, thanks for the rose.
And these predators, they
And the bracelet?
look for stuff like that, and then they'll go right after that person, regardless of the time of day. Depending on what their motive is. Their motive is obviously financial gain, but for what? For drugs or something like that, where you really have to score some money fast. It could be any one of those things.
You talked about how this is something that happens somewhat frequently, which is tough to talk about, but it does.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
terrible.
these robberies happen left and right. But is it important to note the way that they ended up her? I know that's kind of gruesome to talk about, but they shot her rather than stabbing or beating, anything like that. Does that matter at all in their MO, so to speak?
Sure, because you're going to have some ballistic evidence, either from a round taken from the victim or a shell casing. If they used an automatic weapon or semi-automatic weapon, there'll be a shell casing on the scene. These are things you can use to link the people with the crime, or at least the weapon with the crime. And if you have, like, say this home invasion we spoke of earlier, if they discharge the weapon, there'd be a casing there. So now you take that casing from that scene, compare it to the other scene, and maybe you make a connection. And the reason why they used the gun, because they had one.
Also, in cases, we talk a lot about DNA evidence. We know that these people had helmets on, but unclear whether they had gloves. Is it possible that
Gaddis, thanks for joining the channel.
investigators are taking a look for any leftover DNA or fingerprints, things like that, to run through a system?
Me, thanks for gifting a membership too. Very sweet of you.
I guarantee you, whatever assets they have or any resources they have to test for those kind of things. And here's an important one. There's a physical struggle between the victim and the offenders. Maybe she scratches one. Maybe there's an exchange of blood. She makes one of the offenders bleed in some way or another. You'll do it. I guarantee you, I don't want to say that, but I'm pretty sure that on post-mortem, they would have done a fingernail scrape to see if you can get DNA from under the fingernails, because that's really, really good evidence. So absolutely, they're going to use all the resources, dust for prints, try to do lifts. They're going to look for DNA. And again, in these cases, we find we have the best results.
I try to mute it when it's a big moment, but you can also find the video on YouTube
because of the physical.
The original video, if you'd like, the mystery projects where you find that. Come over and subscribe. You can find it.
Conflict between the two, because usually in something like that, there is some kind of exchange, hairs, fibers, DNA between the victim and the offender. So there's a, you get a cross on that, and that's huge.
You talked about the scrapings from under the fingernails because there was some sort of altercation between them, at least according to reports, that there was shouting, she was arguing with them and seemingly fighting back. Do you think that was the right route to take? Not victim shaming in any way, but if somebody's watching this and find themselves in a similar situation, what should they do?
I hate to say this because I hate to let the criminals win, but you should absolutely give your stuff up. You should absolutely give your stuff. It's material, you can replace it. Now, I know we work hard for our things. We don't want to give it away, but we can always replace money. We can always replace materials, but those two children cannot replace their mom. So as much as I hate to say it, you have to give up your material things.
Meanwhile, Costa Rica itself has some startling crime statistics.
I can tell you this. In Costa Rica, between 2022 and 2023, there was a 38% rise in homicides. 38%.
Jesus.
That's
That's
significant. That's not just a blip on the radar. You're also seeing increased street robberies with increased violence. Their police force is small, and they're not getting the resources that they need. The average salary for a policeman in Costa Rica is $600 a month. For a relatively rich tourist society, $600 a month. So again, we talked about these
That's crazy as hell.
resources and the the things they can use to track criminals. I don't know if they have it. I mean, they're down 200 patrol cars there. You also show a 31% youth unemployment rate. So these kids got to get money from somewhere. 21,000 dropped out of high school last year. So when you talk about the increase in robberies, you dig a little deeper and you start to see these root causes. And especially if you're dealing with young offenders. Young offenders really sometimes don't grasp what they're doing or the ramifications of what they do. And that's, unfortunately, Costa Rica is not the only place that's seeing that. It's everywhere, especially in this country.
But does that mean everyone who travels abroad should be on high alert?
Absolutely, they should be.
Yeah.
You should obviously,
Even if you're just traveling, you should be alert.
you should use universal precautions wherever you are. You should, always be aware of your surroundings. But when you go to places like that, we spoke of it earlier, you don't try to flash wealth. Don't have a rollie hanging off your arm. Don't have a giant ring, things like that. I mean, these are things that anybody can see. And you don't know if these people are working with other people on the street either. Okay, I got a mark sitting outside wherever.
Damn.
They got this on Zoom.
Now I just got back from Canada. Even Canada, I'm like keeping an eye on you crazy Canadians. I'm joking. Yo, Canada, you guys are amazing. You guys are pretty damn awesome. Not gonna lie.
Now here comes the motorcycle and here goes the robbery. So you have to be aware of your surroundings. You can't be flashy. And again, we work hard. We want
Plus, I was in Quebec, so I had the French Canadians, the Quebecois.
to wear our nice things. We want to do.
Now, y'all do get a little crazy sometimes.
But you got to think of the
How dare you?
big picture, and that is violent crimes increasing, and not just here, everywhere.
That's terrifying.
Especially if you're traveling to another country, do you think it's important to reach out to the US Embassy or have some sort of contact there? I know recently I went to Europe and I set up some sort of form that showed, okay, I'm going to be in France these days, Italy these days. Do you think that's smart for travelers to do?
Yes, I think you should put a fingerprint out there or a footprint out there when you're traveling, especially abroad. And you go to the State Department website, and pretty much anywhere you want to go, it'll give you a threat assessment of that area. So the State Department website, and again, Costa Rica, I think, is a level 2 now, which just means increased awareness, increase your awareness. But that's all on
Oh, hell.
the State Department's website. You can anywhere you want to go, the State Department will tell
On a
you
meatball, thank you.
what's going on there. And you can never have too much information. You can never be too well informed because that's it protects you. It gives your defenses a little bit more. I mean, you can maybe pay more attention, but absolutely, people need to know where you are, especially if you don't know where you are.
What about sharing your location?
Right.
This is something a lot of people do now, especially on iPhones. You can share it with your family, your friends, whoever. Do you think that's an important thing to do?
I think it's a great idea, especially traveling abroad. It used to be back in the old days, you could get lost for a while. You can't get lost anymore. It started with the pagers, and then it went with phones, and now it dropped your location. Is it an
Pagers.
invasion of your privacy? You can always turn it off. But when you're traveling abroad and you're alone, it's a good idea that people can find you.
As of now, no arrests have been made in Juliana's case, and her murder is still under investigation.
Damn, they didn't even arrest anybody yet. Oh my word. That is crazy as hell. Rita, are you a Libra? No, I'm a Patrick.
You what?
Just kidding. Yes, I am. In fact, my birthday's in 4 days, y'all. Oh, stop. What? 4 damn days. This is going to be crazy as hell, y'all. It's going to be crazy as hell. But that's all I had for you tonight. That's all I had for you tonight. Love you guys. YouTube, hit the thumbs up button before you go. I think we're live on X too. Y'all hit the follow button. Do whatever it is you do on the platform that you're currently on. But I love you guys. Be safe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Might hang out a little bit longer on TikTok. So if you guys want to come back over TikTok, the haunted side. Oh, YouTube. This is going to kick you over to the haunted side on YouTube, which is the paranormal stuff. Go watch some paranormal stuff. Or just go over there. When it kicks you over there, hit the like button for me. All right. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Good night.